Hey kids, it's Englentine here, and I am back with a read and review, something I haven't done in a long time. Now, if you're not used to the read and reviews, basically, I'm going to play the entire comic book. So if you haven't read it, turn down the volume, watch the video, read the comic, then come back and hear the review. Otherwise, let this serve as your spoiler warning. Special shout out to Eduardo Lopez, who called my attention to this book. This was supposed to be my brother's to review, but once I read it, I figured it needs the read and review treatment. Now, I like this cover here. I think it would make a pretty good poster. It's a good poster style cover. Unfortunately, this cover, nor the other cover, the variant, has anything to do... Oh, wait, no, it's got a little bit to do. This one does, because it's got the other guys in the background. Wonder Woman has nothing to do with this book. She's at the beginning, she's at the end. She's the bookends. Otherwise, this is Steve Trevor's adventure. And consequentially, the bookends are going to be the main focus of this review. Name's Master Chief Stephen Howard Trevor. Friends call me Steve. I've been a lot of things in my life. Paperboy, frat boy, spy, pilot, military liaison. I don't know if he actually has that accent, but for this particular, I'm just going to go with it. Currently, I'm the hostage of meninist terrorists who broke into a Star Labs biotech. Meninist of Troll DC Comics. Oh my gosh, that is a satirical movement, kids. They do this as a joke. It's not real. There is no meninist. No, there's no meninist movement. Oh, this guy's good. I like him already. Who broke into a Star Labs biotech firm hoping to steal a chemical compound believed to make women subservient. God. Oh, who is this guy? Tim Seeley, man. You're cool, dude. I hope this is the whole plot to the entire comic. All right. So they hear this throom, whatever that sounds like. I'm also the only one here who knows that the lab's main field of study is trans-species modification for military application. So that would mean that whatever they heard, it's basically saying that the meninists, not a real movement, are dumb. And they came to the wrong lab searching for the wrong thing, and there's animals or monsters there. I've been a lot of things, but I'm most known for being one thing in particular. I'm the guy who found paradise. What the hell does that have to do with a big-ass centipede-like flying creature coming at you? Would that be the thought going through your head? Now, that's what he should have said at the end of the whole I'm Steve Trevor introduction thing. The freaking, at this point, it doesn't even... Oh, by the way, I love the XY shirts. I want the meninists to become the new Justice League villains. I want these guys everywhere now. Anyway, but yeah, this is such a poor placement of the what he's being... how about, holy shit, big flying insect creature? That would be a lot more realistic than what we're seeing here. Not, oh my gosh, I'm the one who brought Wonder Woman to the world. This is relevant because in the next panel, she's gonna appear. And appear she does. He continues, and brought a piece of it back. And of course he's talking about Wonder Woman, who says, "You just couldn't wait for me, Steve? Wonder Woman!" He's surprised she showed up. "Hey, I was just trying to save these dorks from you." Okay. Is he talking about the meninists? Or is he talking about the big ugly insect thing that's somehow escaped? And we also get who is responsible for this piece of garbage. The River of Lost Years, written by Tim Seeley and drawn by Christian Deuce. Alan Pasalacqua is the colorist, and Josh Reed doing the lettering. Alrighty, we continue. And grabbing hold of the huge insect, Wonder Woman says, "And now I must save them from an out-of-control frothing red phallus." Oh my gosh. So, I don't know if you guys know about this, but last week there was a movie that came out. It was based on Wonder Woman, and everybody came together. It was a film that could be loved by anyone. It wasn't sexist. The women and men were equally as strong and capable. It gave inspiration to little girls that they finally had a superhero to look up to. And here is Wonder Woman referencing a man's bits and pieces. It was a fun film, an amazing achievement. It was the best, definitely, of DC comic films. And now Wonder Woman, in the comic book that is drawing people to it because it's Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor, just like in the movie, there is Wonder Woman referencing a bait and tackle, a phallus, a prick, a member, a tool, organ, cock, wang, knob, chopper, plonker, dong, winkle, joystick, pecker, John Thomas, weenie, wang, tadger if you're British, schlong, pizzle, willy or willy, one's British, one's American, and Tockley, thank you to the Australians. Holy crap, she mentions it's red, so Wonder Woman could be referencing just a big dog dick. Thank you, DC Comics, for hiring the SJW activist writers. And thus we continue. So Steve Trevor says, couldn't think of a more appropriate metaphor if I tried. Well, big red dick is on his mind also. I hope this doesn't interrupt our plans for the evening. I was to understand there would be dinner and wine, followed by flirting, light touching, and sexual tension. Sorry if I'm overly honest. So basically, Wonder Woman bursts in and she says, I need the dick. I mean, that's what's on her mind. She wants the drilling. Maybe I'm wrong about this Tim Seeley guy. Maybe he's not an SJW type, more than he just believes that all women would do better if they had a deep dickin'. I guess we'll have to see how he writes the men in the book as well. And so we continue. Wonder Woman has the meninists tied up in her lasso, and she says, and with my lasso of truth, holding you tight, so are you. I hate women because I'm insecure, full of self-loathing. Of course you are. Psych! Meninists ain't a real thing. We trolled you. Ha ha ha. And how did that big insect escape? Y'all really want to check on that? Steve? I'm sorry, Diana. I have to go away for a few days. Can you tell me where? Only if you use that thing, Angel. Go, Steve Trevor. But when you come back, I will expect my wine and tension and sex. We can even use the lasso, just like you asked before. It will be fun. Because I really need the... If you realize that all of her dialogue so far has either been about Dick or that she wants Dick. And so we continue. Over Cappadocia region, Turkey. If I said that wrong, I apologize. Diana knows I have secret moments from lives I had before we became as close as we are now. That will buy silence as well. Yes. In one of those lives, I headed Argus, Black Room Field Regiment called the Odd Fellows. The Odd Fellows' function was to clandestinely investigate strange happenings and determine if anything needed to be captured or cataloged or blown to hell. It was difficult, dangerous work that could drive a person insane. Argus found 3 off-the-book soldiers to meet them halfway. Now, that's an awkward line to read. But I guess what they're saying is these 3 people are halfway insane, so they meet them halfway. Okay. Long walk off short pier. Charlie, ex-British Army sniper, steadiest hands in the business unless he's having a panic attack, which is often, or not, drinking, which isn't. Samir, former Moroccan intelligence, speaks 24 languages and he's a con man in every single one. Has a soft side, or he's as good as an actor as he says he is. Chief, former Shadow Wolves smuggler hunter, used experience to help refugees and illegal immigrants. No, he didn't. My goodness, check your freaking history. We had more relaxed immigration policy back in the freaking day. Come on. Get your head, put your politics in your pocket and write a decent comic book for once. My goodness gracious. Their strength was that they were more dangerous and weirder than the things they were hunting. Honestly. As the guy next door, I never really fit in, but they were my friends, and for them to send me these coordinates without explanation, it means things got too dangerous and weird for them to handle alone, and thus we meet the bad guy. Not that we're going to get a name right away. All we know of her is tall blonde lady with a bullwhip, a knife, and black leather, and she's surrounded by troops that look like men in Red Skull armor. and she's got 3 soldiers and an old lady tied up, and she's basically says that they're all waiting for a Valkyrie to choose them to die. And she says, "But I'm all done with children's stories, girl. You've had enough time and your friends won't last much longer. Tell me where it is," pronoun game, "or I will make the Valkyrie's choice much easier." And she holds a knife to the soldier's throat, and the old lady seems disinterested, but she said, the soldier says, "Fatma, don't tell Saturna anything." So, okay, I was wrong. We do get a name right away. And out of nowhere, there's an explosion. Crimson men, and their leader Saturna, a doomsday militia who believe the world will perish under blood-red skies. Took your bloody time, Trevor. Like a dark reflection of Argus, they collect their own oddities to prepare for the apocalypse. What, did some superheroes need their underpants changed first? Nobody moved. She's not even paying attention or acknowledging whoever's speaking. We don't have any idea who is speaking right now. That's weird. So Steve shoots the chains off the soldiers because, you know, that's safe. And one of the Crimson soldiers says, "I got him." And Saturna says, "No, don't shoot. You might hit one of the soldiers." And so she says, "This calls for grace and extended suffering." And she steps out. And that's when the sniper goes, "Oh, don't you worry now, Steve. You go on home. I've got this. The dumb bitch just stepped out into the battlefield with nothing but a bullwhip. Blam! Book's over." Rock on, people. Good job. Good job. All right. Of course, that doesn't happen because that would be smart. So Charlie and Chief search for ammo because they came to a battlefield unprepared. And we find out the Chief made a little fish necklace for Steve Rogers. And Steve Rogers and Samir are trying to help Fatma, the old lady. "We need to get Fatma home." "Where's that?" "Follow the moon the length of a song to the open hand," she said. So are we talking Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, or are we talking Stairway to Heaven? I mean, you know, you got your different lengths of songs there, Joe. And since no one had the brains to actually take the shot I mentioned earlier, Steve Trevor around his neck. And we get more clunky dialogue. "Just like Trevor to get all the attention. Hey, I've got that big int." "What the what?" "Charlie, you're severely wounded, and you haven't had a drink in days. No time. Hit up. Arse down." Oy vey, I hate it when they spell the words like they're trying to do the bad accent I tried to do. Anyway, this is where Steve Trevor actually gets to be called cuck in his own, which tells us also that the writer doesn't know what cuckold means. "Disappointing even after attaining rank. You are still just a typical Argus cuckold. You do not even know what you fight against or for." What the freaking hell does this mean? Honestly, why would you say that? What was the point of that particular dialogue to call him a cuck? What is it that she thinks he's fighting for at that particular time? What was the writer's name again? Seeley? I can only imagine his thinking is, "I'm taking it back, man. I'm taking the word cuckold back away from the people who actually respect women and the real men. They shouldn't be using this word anymore." All the while I've been reading this dialogue, I thought, wow, this is really clunky. It really is, the way it's written. And it almost seems like it is for the writer himself and not for the entertainment of the reader. And so Charlie gets his shots off, takes out her troops, and Steve Trevor punches Saturna. And then because he is Special Forces, and I remember my father telling me one time that Special Forces were taught that you'd never shoot your enemy when you have the chance to shoot them twice. And of course, knowing that she would cause trouble, he would blow her brains out and call it a day, unless they took her prisoner, of course, because they needed information, which we see while they're driving in the truck that that wasn't the case of what they're doing. They're just trying to get the old lady back to her home. And while they're traveling, the old lady is singing, but as soon as she stops, they come to the promised land that they were looking for. And we find out that it's this secret land that has been keeping these children youthful forever. And this little girl actually wanted to wander out and find the real world, and when she did, she started to age quickly. And that's what Saturna was trying to find also, this little fountain of youth area. And this makes Steve Trevor think, well, you know what? I found paradise again. I found a beautiful place untouched by human and mankind. and I've done it twice in my life. So basically the soldiers are just in awe, and the little girl is telling the story to the other children that live there about what happened. And that's when Saturna shows up again, and she threatens, aha, I've got these dark wings, I'm one of the dark ones, I'm going to destroy everything I see. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but that's the general message. That's when Steve is told that his necklace is actually an explosive. Steve throws the explosive at Saturna, Charlie shoots it, and kaboom, Saturna is taken out, and she falls into what looks like a dark pit. Her soldiers that were shot in the head and still lived are now actually dead, I guess. And as a way of saying thank you, the children offer up the waters that keep them young and keep them there forever and say, why don't you stay here with us? And Steve asks, well, wait a second, guys, why didn't you just call Argus for help? And he's told that basically they knew that if Argus found out, that they would try to exploit the land. Cut to Steve's dinner with Diana. Yes, this is what I had in mind. I know better than to disappoint you, Diana. Care to share the events that delayed our dinner? It's not that I don't trust her to learn about the existence of the Odd Fellows or tell her that there's a secret city of immortal kids squatting by a stream in Turkey. It's that if I tell her, she'll read me, listen to my voice. In that way that she does, she'll understand the parallels. She won't even have to break out that lasso to know the truth. The truth that as much as I'm glad Diane is here, as much as I've been in love with her since the moment I set eyes on her, I feel guilty. Guilty that of all the places I could have crashed that plane, it had to be Themyscira. Guilty that I stumbled into an untouched world free of want, fear, aging. Guilty that I brought the corruption of man's world to paradise. And most of all, guilty that I took a piece of paradise back. It's man's fault. We corrupt everything we touch. It was paradise before men came in. You know, I guess that's the message of the book. It really is. Or the message is that the writer's bad. He really is. The message is hammered in rather than just found naturally through the dialogue, which is way too clunky to be entertaining and enjoyable. He puts in political messages that don't belong, and Wonder Woman's dialogue consists of dick, 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 dick. How are you, Steve? I wouldn't be surprised to find out that Seeley had never read a Wonder Woman comic in his entire life. Probably he has. It just does not show in his writing of this book. Using the meninists as a threat, an actual threat, just shows that he has no idea of the political points he's even trying to make. And the fact that he has Wonder Woman referencing penises shows that he also has no sense of timing because, like I said before, little girls are going to be searching out Wonder Woman comics. Why not let them have Wonder Woman comics you would be proud to have them read? The book's not a total failure because at least the art is strong enough. It really was not a bad looking book. It's just the story that was inside it was complete and utter garbage. But that's my take on it. What did you think? Did you like this book and I'm full of crap? Let me know. I'm sorry for the language, but this review kind of lent itself to it. Also, if you want to rip me a new one in that, let me know in the comments below also. If you want me to do more of these read-along reviews where I'm tearing into the books, let me know that as well. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so. Hit that bell notification. Don't forget to click like and share. Please share because I need it so much. And also, thank you very, very much for watching.